Hello class, good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. This is the lecture for April 6th, and we are going to talk a little bit about complex sentences. And we will be working from our writing book, chapter 10. I thought I was on chapter 10, but I'm not. All right, and this is what it looks like. Okay, this is a picture of a little cat with a bunch of kittens. All right. So many of you, we have talked about complex sentences in class before we went online. So you know a little bit about complex sentences. By the way, this is page 153, if you're wondering. But let's talk about it. Complex sentences have two parts. They have an independent clause and a dependent clause. Okay? Now, if we look at the picture below, who is the independent member of this family of cats and who is dependent? Hopefully, you said that the mother cat was the independent. The cat can go around and feed itself and meet its needs by itself. The kittens, however, are brand new kittens and they are dependent on the mother cat for everything. The mother cat cleans them, she feeds them. These kittens will die if the mother cat is not around. So it's the same thing with independent and dependent clauses in a complex sentence. All right. So an independent clause is basically a group of words that can stand by itself. It's a full sentence, contains a subject and a verb. Okay, for example, we planned a trip to Washington, D.C. Okay, and here we have subject, verb, here's the object, if you remember this, and then we have a prepositional phrase like that. Now, a dependent clause also has a subject and a verb, but it does not express a complete thought, okay? It cannot stand on its own, just like the kittens cannot live without their mother at this point in their life, okay? So a dependent clause has something called a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so here's an example down here. Because it is known for excellent museums. Okay, so this sentence in and of itself, because it is known for excellent museums, cannot stand by itself. It cannot stand on its own. It needs more. Okay? All right, let's turn the page here. Now, what is a subordinating conjunction? A subordinate is someone who submits to somebody else. Okay, so subordinating conjunction needs a bigger sentence to help it. So if we look at the picture here, we have football players and we have the coach. Okay, now who is subordinate to whom? All right, so is the coach subordinate or the football players? Hopefully you said the football players. The football players must submit or listen or obey the coach. Okay, and that's what a subordinating conjunction is. Okay, it cannot stand on its own. Okay, you can read more about that. Okay, so to be complete, a dependent clause must be in a sentence with an independent clause. Okay, creating a complex sentence. For example, let's see here. I'm sorry about, you can just read in your book. We planned a trip to Washington, D.C. because it is known for excellent museums. Okay, so that is the full sentence from page 153. We plan a trip to Washington, D.C. because it is known for excellent museums. Okay. All right. We can also switch these two. So this part here, because it is known for excellent museums, which is the dependent, can go first in the sentence. So here's the example. Because it is known for excellent museums, we planned a trip to Washington, D.C. All right. All right, so here we have another example here. Okay, my father took the job even though the pay was horrible. Even though the pay was horrible, my father took the job. Now, what do you notice in both of these examples, the Washington, D.C. example and the my father example? Do you notice anything different between the two sentences in these sentences, or in these examples, sorry? Hopefully you notice the commas. Okay, in the first one here, we planned a trip to Washington, D.C. because it is known for excellent museums, no comma. Here, because it is known for excellent museums, comma, oops, pencil doesn't work, we planned a trip to Washington, D.C. Okay, so what is the rule here? When the dependent clause comes first, you need a comma before you write the independent clause. Okay, so look at this one too. My father took the job even though the pay was horrible. Even though the pay was horrible, comma, my father took the job. All right, so 6 minutes. Okay, let's try this activity here. Okay, so now what I want you to do is take out your books for sure, if you don't have it, and pause this video. And I'm going to complete this activity. But first pause it and try to complete it first. Okay, we're on page 155. Okay, activity 1. All right, so I will complete this. You basically just need to write in the parentheses what the pattern is. Okay, so number 1 and number 2 are finished for you. Okay, number 3, the store manager always gives us a free ice cream whenever we go to the store. So here we have subject, oh man, it would help if I had a pencil that worked. Subject, verb, whenever, and then subject, verb, just like that. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, subject, verb, is that one okay. This should be a before, sorry. So before, subject, verb, there should be a comma there and there's not. Are you supposed to add commas? That's right. Okay. So add the comma right there, and then we have subject, verb. Okay, so it should be before, subject, verb, comma, because before is part of the dependent clause, and then subject, verb. Okay, number 5. Okay, so while is a subordinating conjunction. So we'll write on the blank while, subject, verb. Okay, the comma should go right after for coffee. And then we have subject, verb, verb. Subject, verb, verb. I need to make these longer blanks. Okay, hopefully you did well on this assignment. All right, so here is a list of some common subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so go through this list by yourself. Okay, and what I want you to do is circle anything that perhaps you don't understand or you don't know how to use. So maybe this one, for example, even though, or I don't know, as long as. Okay, and then ask me in the lecture today, how to use these. Now, I'm going to give you one more example, and we'll use the word even though. Okay. Okay. So, oh, my kids destroyed my marker. Ugh. Okay. And second new marker. This one is okay. All right. So I'll go down here. Even though I love Chinese food, okay, even though I love Chinese food, I am not hungry right now, period. Okay, so even though I love Chinese food, I am not hungry right now. Okay, so which part came first? The dependent or the independent? If you said dependent, you're right, even though. All right, we'll do another one, as long as. Okay. I am fine staying at home as long as I can watch Netflix. Okay, I am fine staying at home as long as I can watch Netflix. Okay, which came first, dependent or independent clause? If you said independent clause, you are correct. You get an A+ today. All right, so hopefully you have an idea of how to do this. Now, I think we will complete, it's already 12 minutes I've been lecturing, and this is kind of a boring lecture. So on page 156, we will do, you can try activity 3 before Wednesday. But the assignment for next week, this is next week's assignment, is activity 4 on page 157 and activity 5 on page 158. All right, so I hope you have a little bit more of an idea of complex sentences. Please ask questions during the lecture, and if you want any more examples, let me know. All right.